Oh, okay. I made it back. What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 250. Well, I think it's 259. But anyway, we're here for you another episode. Not quite sure what we're talking about this week. It's been kind of a quiet week, but I'm sure the topics will come as soon as we get started. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of NBA, NFL, and college football talk because all of those seasons again right in crunch time, baby. The NFL winding down, college football playoffs about to start, and the NBA has got some real meaty things going on right now. So I'm here with Coach and Rev, and we're not gonna waste any more time. Episode 250 something about to start. I think it's 259. Or now it could be 260. But anyway, it's so many episodes. I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's get started because I ain't got that much time today. So let's get started, everybody. Let's begin.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 258 of the Red and Coach are coming to you live from the
ATL.
As I'm coming to you live from Coachville, PA, giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans. Who are real sports athletes who have what, gentlemen?
Real sports nuts. Real sports athletes. That's what we did.
Rev and the Coach for episode 258 and not 259 or 260. All right, Coach, as is our custom, we come to you, our numerologist, to give us something or someone dealing with those numbers 2, 5, and 8. What you got for us, Coach?
Well, Rev, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to break tradition on you. And I go with a two-time All-Pro, and he was one of the most dangerous and most feared linebackers in his time. And I'm sure during his time, he bit a couple people. There's no lie about it. I think he bit some people or did whatever. I'm going to have to go to Steeler today, Rev. I'm going to have to go with Jack Lambert, number 55-8, for my number today. I'm so sorry. I can see the look in your eye. I'm sorry.
You had to go with a man who ain't played football in 30 years.
Last week I went with Ricky Jackson. You weren't here then.
You went with Jack Lambert who ain't played in 30 plus years.
58 is not a popular number. The higher they get, the harder they get. So 58 was not a popular number by a lot of people.
All right, well, that's your last Steeler for the next 3 months. For the next 3 months. Any more Steelers, we're going to have to take that segment away from you.
Oh.
All right? Any more Steelers. We're going to all right. Nevertheless, man, how you gentlemen feeling?
It's okay now. I don't know what to say.
I'm making it.
All right, man. And we're going to pray for our brother Armani, who is in the sports sick and shut-in list. He told us this morning that he didn't have any voice, wondering what that young fella been doing there in Virginia. We're going to have to investigate, see what's going on in Virginia, losing your voice. I mean, what's going on, Armani? So we hope he feels better as he's on the sports sick and shut-in list. But nevertheless, we want to welcome Reverend Knight Nation. There are a few representatives present and accounted for on Reverend Knight Nation. What's going on, Brother Martin? Good morning to you, Brother Kelly. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Sister Brickers. Glad to have you as well. And yeah, R.I.P. Irene Cara, great actress, great vocalist, died today. So we want to keep her family in prayer. Good morning, Brother Rasa. Glad to have you. So the Reverend Knight Nation is present. The VP must be on vacation because there has been no banging of the gavel, so I guess we're going to have to bang our own gavel.
Sorry.
Whoa! The Red and Rare Sports Show, episode 2, 5, and 8. Let's get right into it. As Red alluded to, he has limited time with us because he got to make that money for UPS, doing that overtime, so that
Right.
normally he would be making that overtime money to feed us, but
Not this season, everybody.
Oh, Lord.
He's in good shape. All right, let's get into this dope note And Cope, just check it in to say go Eagles headed to FB. All right, she has choir rehearsal this morning. That's why she can't hang out too long with us. All right.
You need a sample of the singing. Singing sample.
You made your Eagle statement. Now go sing to the Lord. Have a good day. Just messing with you. All right, let's go to our dope note and Cope moment for this week. What's your hot moment, dope? What's your low moment, nope? What's the one you're trying to wrap your mind around as we cope? Coach, we'll start with you as we mostly do. Here we go, man. What you doping on?
Well, my dope moment is on a game that I wish I could have attended, but I wasn't there. And it was the high school football game between Dutchtown and Mays, which I will automatically put as an instant classic because that game had back and forth all night. Nobody wanted to give up. Both teams deserved to win. Both teams should have gone on. I wish they didn't play each other into the championship, but that was a classic game, and that's gonna go down as my dope moment because I mean it was a good one. It was one of the best games of the night as far as I saw on the scoreboard. So hopefully they'll get more like that. But that game was classic last night.
Oh yeah, Red. What are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on one bubblegum, bubblicious Anthony Davis. I can't believe I'm actually doping on him as much as I've noped on him these past few months. But man, this last week and the way he's been balling, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if he keep balling like this, my Lakers might creep back up into this thing. We got a long way to go, but we need these type of performances. 30 points, double-digit points, double-digit rebounds, about 3 or 4 blocks a game, staying on the court, being healthy. That's the number one thing we need because if you on the court, AD, chances are you going to accidentally work your way into some of these numbers, but you just being on the court giving a decent effort. That's what I'm doping on because look at it, say now, Lakers don't won 4 out of their last 5 games. Don't know if it's going to be a trend, but who knows? But with those type of performance, we'll see. So dope for Anthony Davis. As much as I nope on you, the least I can do is dope on you when you have a string of games like you just put up. So dope for Lakers center, Anthony Davis.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
I am doping on the Philadelphia 76ers, beating the Brooklyn Nets badly without Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Therese Maxey. And Brooklyn Nets were healthy with Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irving. So big dope goes to the Philadelphia 76ers, and Tobias Harris finally earned his money by standing up, being a star player without Embiid, Harden, and Maxey being in place. So dope to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
All right, Red, what are you noping on?
Oh, I got a few possibilities. Maybe I piggyback off what Coach was doping on, and I'm going to nope on special teams, especially Mays special teams. Come on, man. How do we miss an extra point that's going to put us in the Georgia Dome? We one step away from the Dome. We're going to be in the Dome. I'm going to have to call in work and take off because everybody going to be in the Dome representing Mays, and we lose to Dutchman after all that trash these Dutch folks was talking this week. I would have finally got to throw it in all their faces, man, especially you, Tisha Young. Yeah, you. I see you right now. You lucky. Boy, you are lucky we missed that extra point. Special teams bought us down in the end. God, man, special teams. No. Good job, good season, but nope on the special teams mixing the extra point that would have put these Dutchmen out of their misery. They want to win that game yesterday. Look at that defense. We were just going up and down the field on them yesterday. They didn't impress me at all. All this trash I heard from all these dope men. But anyway, nope, this made special teams because y'all blew a major opportunity yesterday. So, nope.
No.
Now, Red just stole my nope moment.
Oh, for real? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even think you were gonna be as negative as I was.
I'm gonna
Real?
expound on it because it was
Well,
that.
go ahead, Rev, expound on it.
I'm also gonna nope on May's special team. Their season was unexpected with their progress. They started off kind of rocky. They got it together. Big ups to Coach Tony Slayton, who was at Mays when I was a freshman. He was a senior. He was the starting quarterback for the Mays High Raiders. The reason why Red and I are talking about it in particular, we are both graduates from Mays High School. With that being said, not only did the special teams miss an extra point, but they were arguably responsible for 2 touchdowns for Dutchtown, where they would kick off after scoring and allow Dutchtown to run it to the 10-yard line on the other side of the field, which allowed them to get 2 quick touchdowns. When Mays would go up, they would have a good offensive possession, score a touchdown. Dutchtown come right back off the kickoff and they're in Mays territory and score a touchdown on 2 separate occasions the next play because of special teams. So I'm going to broaden it. Not only Mays needs to work on their special teams, South Atlanta, all black schools, there's more to football than just offense and defense. You have to work on the particulars because you saw Dutchtown's kicker hit a clutch field goal to take the game into overtime. So you got to do better with special teams. You got to put more emphasis in practice the entire season, black schools in high school, as well as in college, on special teams, or you will lose when you have a good team. Because rest assured, those schools that are multicultural or predominantly white, they're going to have good special teams. I'm done.
Better believe it.
All right, Coach, what are you noping on, sir?
I'm noping on this report by fans that said North Carolina's loss to Iowa State made them overrated. I'm like, what? How can a team lose 1 game and be overrated? Then I guess Gonzaga is overrated because they lost 2. Kansas is overrated because they lost. Duke is overrated because, all these teams must be overrated. You get overrated after 1 loss to a good Iowa State team who was undefeated, as a matter of fact. But now all of a sudden we deem people overrated because they lose 1 game. I got concerns about that. But then again, it's college basketball fans or whatever this group is, so it holds about as much merit as trying to mop up ocean. So you know what? Hey, it's all right.
All right.
I ain't heard that before.
Moving on to the coach.
Real, that was the perfect response.
I'm coping. I am coping on North Carolina fans. In one day, North Carolina had a bad day. They lost to their state rival in football, NC State, in epic fashion, in overtime. Field goal kicker blew a kick to tie the game in overtime.
Oh, that was terrible.
And then you got the #1 team in college basketball falling short to Iowa State on the same day. And I will say, Coach, some folk are saying that your boys are overrated because they have been struggling beating those inferior teams all season long, been beating Sisters of the Poor by 4 points, been beating Atlanta Area Tech by 5 points. So that's why some people are questioning the legitimacy of North Carolina's #1. But my coat moment goes to North Carolina fans who had a bad day at the sports office on Black Friday.
Man, Coach, your UNC team sound a little bit overrated, man. Losing some of those games.
They haven't lost them. They were squeaking by.
Oh, squeaking by.
They were squeaking by Sisters of the Poor, that area Tech. You know?
Well, I don't know who not to take in the tournament this year.
That's okay. That's okay. They didn't
All
think
right.
we do anything.
All
Oh.
right.
Y'all gonna bounce back, coach. Okay. Y'all got time.
All right, Red. What are you coping on?
Something that's worse than North Carolina sports. And I'm talking about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson athletics. That's what I'm coping on. And it ain't me. It ain't me that got to cope on it, though. It's the Denver defense that's got to cope on it. Check this out right here. Do you know the Denver defense, while dealing with Russell Wilson, if they had just scored 20 points in every game this year, that they would be 9-1.
Mm-hmm.
9-1. If the Denver offense has just scored 20 points in every game this year, the Broncos will be 9-1. But they're not 9-1 because they got Russell Wilson at quarterback, who barely can put up 10 or 12 points a game. I mean, a game. We struggle. Every game I see, they struggling. It's third or fourth quarter. They barely got one score on the board. And that's something that's sometimes to be zero. Man, Denver, what have you done? You have destroyed your franchise. Oh, my God. And Seattle is looking up while y'all are looking down, stuck with that contract for the next 2 or 3 years. What is your defense going to do? You're going to be having defensive players asking for trades. Seriously. You're going to ruin that defense that you built up because they can't win. Not with Russell as quarterback. You cannot win with that offense as anemic as another SAT word, coach. Anemic as it is. I'm sorry, okay? So Denver, now not us. We ain't coping, but the Denver defense, I have to cope with Russell and Sierra and for the rest of that entourage as long as they're around. And man, I just do not see this story ending good, but we'll be watching.
Their season is exploding, right?
Yeah, it been exploded. We just didn't know it.
Coach,
Armani,
what are you coping on?
My moment is going to the Detroit Lions. On Thanksgiving, Lord have mercy, it seemed like the Detroit Lions would win a game and erase the stigma of why is Detroit playing every Thanksgiving. But snatching defeat out of the mouths of victory, they allowed the Buffalo Bills to drive down and put misery on the board again, and all those nice fans who let Buffalo use their stadium last week to win a game, now they let them take another game in their own stadium. So Detroit fans, I'm coping with you. I hope you understand, but you know your team, that's not a good two weekends for you lose twice in your own stadium to a team. Well, once, then let a team come take over your stadium. So I'm coping with Detroit Lions fans.
They got to get that defense. They got offensive. That defense is horrible. It's horrible.
Well, let's see what the Revenant Nation is doping and coping on. We have quite a few. The vice president decided to finally hit the gavel after the gavel had to be hit in a different direction. So thank you for coming in a little late, better late than never, heading to the Clemson, South Carolina game. So hopefully you enjoy Mr. VP. He's doping on South Carolina women's basketball team, beating a very good Stanford team on the road. That was a good game. Stanford had them down by quite a few points, and Dawn Staley was able to usher.
We can dope on your victory over Tennessee last week.
Yeah, that was a huge victory, no doubt. Maurice Thor, season greetings to you. Brother Martin is noping on the Hawks against the Rockets. Griffin is the one who came to play with Young and Murray last night. Yeah, that was a bad loss last night.
Awful loss.
Maurice Thor is doping on Iowa State's upset of North Carolina. Marcus Pfizer is somewhere smiling.
Man, you go smile somewhere else.
Maurice Thor open on the Detroit Lions for letting victory slip through their hands on Thanksgiving Day. It was right there for them. They would have gone nuts. No Black.
I would have gone nuts.
Hope South Carolina put Tennessee out of any playoff talk. Yeah, they beat the brakes off them, man. I didn't see that one coming. Brother Martin is coping with John Collins being on the Hawks roster. He plays like he doesn't want to be in the A. He's just overrated and should have never been signed to that ridiculous contract. That's a big mop, coach, mopping up the ocean. I have to try not to use that metaphor. All right, Maurice, throw a plays bad day by Daniel Powter for the North Carolina fans. The VP is
Playing
coach
for Miami.
which Gamecocks team is going to show up at Clemson. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know if you're going to see that South Carolina team that showed up in South Carolina last week, but
No.
Joe Black noping on TIAA Field in Jacksonville, having 160. Shut the field down. Shut the field down. Good morning to you, Sister Paris. Glad that you're joining us. Dante Armstrong, Hawks might have found a gem with Griffin, but yeah, that L was terrible. The young Griffin kid from Duke. So we'll see if he will continue.
Found a piece of coal with John Collins and DeAndre Hunter.
All right, gentlemen, let's go right into this college football rankings. The new rankings have come out. Georgia, number 1. Ohio State, number 2. Michigan, number 3. Number 4, TCU. And coaches, USC team is knocking on the door at number 6, I believe, right behind LSU at 5.
No, they should be number 5. Overrated LSU.
Well, you have an opportunity, Coach. That's one thing about today. You have an opportunity.
If they win out, if they beat Notre Dame, who's ranked, and then they come back and win the Pac-12 championship, they may get that 4th seed and have a date to get mopped up the field with Georgia. So
no, Coach, we waiting for you, big dog. So just come on in.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So what are your thoughts about the current rankings? Are they legit? Just like where they need to be? Is there somebody on the outside looking in that should be in the top 4? Any thoughts? I'll start with you, Red.
To me, they just fine because Ohio State and Michigan are gonna cancel each other out after today. And then once coaches USC team whops up Little Marcus and Notre Dame, then TCU will move to number 3, Ohio State will move to number 2, and USC will slide on up in there number 4 because Alabama ain't gonna do anything. They be lucky if they get past the Iron Bowl day. Tennessee, they out. We're gonna take care of LSU. So, Coach, y'all really have no excuse not to slide up into that playoffs. So it's gonna be y'all gonna control your own destiny, and we're gonna take care of LSU for y'all. Ohio State gonna take care of Michigan for y'all. TCU, they really have they don't even matter. They'll be number 3, and y'all slide up into that 4th spot. So right now, it's exactly where it needs to be. All them other teams don't blew their chances. Tennessee and Alabama, I have no idea what the fans talking about as if they got a chance.
Coach, your thoughts?
Well, on that other side of the thing, if I smell a rat and chaos if Michigan beat Ohio State. I smell a rat on that one because that's going to be Georgia, Michigan, TCU if they keep winning. And then the committee going to look and say, why should we punish Ohio State for losing one game? I can see that in their thoughts, and they could keep Ohio State at number 4. Surprise, surprise! If it doesn't happen, we can only control what USC can only control what they do. That's win out. But if Ohio State lose, I smell a rat. Now here's the big thing: Lord, have mercy if LSU somehow, by some lightning bolt fluke miracle, beat Georgia. Then you got serious chaos. They're not going to drop Georgia out.
Well,
Georgia's in.
As chaotic as you think, Coach, because that means you're going to have 2 SEC schools in the college playoff, and then you'll have the winner of Michigan, Ohio State, if they go on to win the Big Ten championship, and then TCU if they go undefeated. So LSU winning will hurt the Pac-12.
I know, that's what I'm talking about, chaos.
Yeah, so
chaos for y'all.
I think the team that is on the shakiest ground is TCU. I think they are looking for a reason for not having TCU in the 4. And if by chance TCU is able to run the table and say, for instance, a team like USC is able to beat Notre Dame, win the Pac-12 championship, I could see them moving USC over TCU to create an Ohio State USC matchup, and then Georgia playing against TCU.
Oh boy, that would be lovely. Coach, you'd escape for 1 week. Well, I don't know, because I don't even know if you get past Ohio State, but you would dodge us maybe for 1 week, and we'll mop up on TCU. So somebody, Ohio State or USC, somebody gonna come and take this beat down. So I'll let y'all guys flip the coin and decide which one gonna come meet us. Because either way, we're gonna be waiting on one of them.
Well,
It's
Georgia,
gonna be Coach or it's gonna be Eric. One of y'all teams are gonna play this year.
Well, Georgia's definitely in the driver's seat. You know, they didn't have the best showing against Kentucky last week, but they did enough to win the ball game, and I could see them having a great day at Senior Day today against Georgia Tech, tuning up to LSU. And I think Georgia.
That's me blowing the horn on Georgia Tech. Get out the way, please.
Georgia not winning the SEC championship last year is going to fuel their fire. And then also that year that LSU beat the brakes off Georgia in the SEC championship with Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. We got to get that. Thanks for reminding me, Red. We got to get that payback.
Yeah, that's going to be back in the memory bank. So we'll definitely see.
You can forget about LSU, Coach. We finna handle them. I forgot we got to get some payback for them.
I would love to beat USC in the playoffs.
I know you would, Joe.
A traditional Rose Bowl matchup if that were to happen. All right, let's shift gears real quickly. Let's go on. Who's on upset alert today? I'm going to start with Coach on this topic. Who is on upset alert today? If there's anybody on upset alert, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, Coach, who's on upset alert?
Clemson against South Carolina. Clemson has been, it's like you said, living on the edge all year, and they go out there and play Notre Dame and get throttled. South Carolina is feeling just happy than clams since they beat down Tennessee. So can Spencer Rattler have another good game? Yeah, against that Clemson defense. And we'll see what DJ Ukulele, as I call him, if he can hold off South Carolina, who is bowl eligible, but they're trying to move up and get another bowl win. I would get higher bowl. So, I say Clemson.
All right, Red, who's on upset?
Let's go, Jackets.
I have absolutely no idea what Giovanni talking about. If you think that's what I'm going to say is an upset alert, them toilet bowl suckers ain't got a chance. And the fact that they coming down to Sanford Stadium, that is completely. They might have had a puncher's chance in Atlanta. Might have got me word. They might want to show out for the home crowd, but we still probably would have beat them down there. That's right, Coach would have beat them up there. But in Athens, Tech ain't got a chance. My upset alert is probably for TCU. I mean, I don't know who they play today, but that's the team that's who? Ohio State?
Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa State. Okay. That's the team that's probably on upset alert because they're the ones that have to go undefeated to even make the playoffs, I believe. Well, besides Ohio State. But like you say, Ohio State or one-loss Ohio State or one-loss Michigan or one-loss UGA might be considered. A one-loss TCU ain't going to be considered up for nothing. It's either undefeated TCU or it's nothing. So they're the ones on upset alert because they got all the pressure because they know if they lose, they probably opened it up for two teams.
All right, I'm not trying to start any trouble on the Red and Red Sports Show, but there's a team that's on huge upset alert. Huge upset alert. And they hail in Los Angeles, California.
I knew it. I tell you smiling the whole time. You're smiling the whole time.
Notre Dame is coming to town. And when I'm looking at Notre Dame, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They've taken down number 16, Syracuse. They've taken down number 4, Clemson. And now they have a date with their rival, USC, in Southern California, where it never rains. And I want to say, Coach, your boys are on upset alert, not only because Notre Dame is hot, but because they just came off a very emotional victory against UCLA. And it is very difficult to get your team back up after being on such an emotional high for that game against UCLA last week in Los Angeles was electric. Caleb Williams, that joker was on 10. The whole team was on 10. The fans were on 10. How can you duplicate that kind of energy 1 week later? So USC, not that I'm hating on Coach, but I'm just stating the fact that they are on huge upset alert on today. Coach.
Oh man, Coach, don't ruin this now. I've been waiting for USC to make the playoffs. Y'all finally got a chance. Y'all can't blow this now.
What you say, Rev?
Was I being fair in my assessment on why they on upset alert?
You being Farrell. No, I ain't gonna say it. No. No, Michael Mayer is the name that USC better watch out for. Michael Mayer, the tight end for Notre Dame, all world. They can't. It hasn't been many teams that have been able to stop him. And the last time USC ran into a tight end like that was against Utah, and he kind of in that tight end caught for over close to 200 yards. So hey, tight end. He said about Marcus Freeman.
Send up 3 Hail Marys, Coach. You're in trouble. One for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
USC defense ain't that good, Coach. Man, y'all got a tight end that's gonna be working y'all middle.
There's a word for that defense. That defense is opportunistic. They lead the country in turnovers. They're opportunistic. They take advantage. They take chances. Now. That's
what I used to say about the Falcons defense when they used to have good seasons.
Yeah, they can't stop the run with a wall, but they do enough to. I haven't heard much about Notre Dame running game.
They get a lot of interceptions or fumble recoveries.
Oh yeah, they lead the nation in interceptions and turnovers.
Yeah,
they're opportunistic. But if the game is close, then Notre Dame can't let USC get out in front.
All right, Coach, hold on for that commentary because we got to go ahead and pick the game.
Yes.
All right, you're giving us commentary about the game, and we can use that.
Well, I knew when you were smiling. I knew when you were smiling, you were going to talk about USC.
I just had to let you know that they are definitely on upset alert. All right, gentlemen, we're getting ready to do some NCAA picks, and we'll talk more about the Notre Dame USC game in just a moment. Let's see where we are in the standings.
See if I can steal my victory.
See, this is where we are at that we chose on Friday that are not included in this. Red is still in first place, 3-game lead above Coach. Coach is 44-27. Red has a 4-game lead on me and an 8-game lead on Armani. So some of that has already changed due to some games that took place on yesterday, and they will be included in the picks standings for next week. But nevertheless, Red is in first place. So let's get this pick'em music going. And then Red, you'll get the first pick.
Gotta go for my back-to-back. Oof.
Here we go. Let's get some good music. Let's see. Here we go. All right, let's do it. All right, Red. First game on the docket. Louisville versus Kentucky. The Bluegrass State rivalry. This game is in Lexington, where UK is the home team. Who you got?
Oh, man. In UK, too. Now, that's tough. It's on SEC soil. But Louisville been playing some good ball this year. They actually won a game for me early, I think last week for me. Man, Kentucky, I know they want to represent against their home state rival. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna stick with Utah. I sorry, Miss Harris. I know you look.
Oh, Louisville,
Utah.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Real Night Nation better get me. I finally gave y'all a reason to get me. I bet Louisville bits it. Anyway, Louisville, I don't know why I got Utah on my mind. But anyway, Louisville over home state Kentucky. I know that's Miss Harris' team, but man, Miss Harris, your boys have fallen off a little lately. They had a chance early. I know they still got that quarterback supposed to be a top pick, but man, he might hurt his draft stock because he's so up and down, up and down. But we gonna see. But I'm gonna stick with Louisville. Louisville Slugger. Let's go.
Coach, who you got?
Oh, this is a game that the only people in Kentucky care about, so nobody else in the country cares about. Kentucky probably is gonna pull it out. I said late field goal. Louisville is, I don't know what's wrong with them. Kentucky.
I'm gonna go with Kentucky as well, since they are the home team that came off a 2-game losing streak, lost unexpectedly. Vanderbilt played Georgia tough. They came up short last week, wound up losing by 10. I think they're due for a victory. I think this is a pride game for UK. So I'm going to go with Kentucky with Coach. Let's move on to the next game. We got Kansas versus Kansas State. Kansas State is the home team. Who you got, Coach?
Kansas State, because Kansas State trying to get to the Big 12 championship game, so against TCU, so they can try to pick them off. I'm gonna go with Kansas State.
All right, Coach is going with Kansas State. I'm gonna go with Kansas State as well, mainly because they are the home team, and in college football, I lean toward the home team because road games are tough to win for the visiting team. So I'm going with Kansas State as well. Who you got, Greg?
Man, I didn't know I just swear this is the first year we've been talking about Kansas football this year. We usually say Kansas for basketball. I don't know how they snuck up in our football discussion, but this is going to be the last time I discuss Kansas because K-State all the way. K-State got a better offense. They both got good offenses, but K-State defense leaps aboard Kansas defense. I don't even think Kansas have a defense. So I'm going to take K-State at home with the better defense.
You going with K-State or KC?
Yeah, K-State at home.
Oh, okay. You sound like you're going with KC, the Chiefs. All right.
Nah, that's football. I mean NFL.
Big rivalry in the state of Washington. Washington versus Washington State. Washington is the ranked team. Can't say I've seen much of either of these two teams, but I'm going to go with the higher ranked team. I'm going to go with Washington Huskies to beat the Cougars in Washington State on today. Who you got, Red?
I'm gonna go ahead and roll with the Washington team. Winners of they ain't really lost in about a month and I don't know what. So Washington State, they decent Pac-12 team, but not that highly ranked. Their best win was probably against not even they even won against a ranked team all year. So I'm gonna take Washington. This is simple, Washington.
Coach, are you making it unanimous with two?
Pretty much, because Washington State gonna hang in there for the first quarter, and that's gonna be it. And then Washington gonna take over, so it's gonna be Washington.
All right, moving on to the Palmetto State Classic, South Carolina versus Clemson. This game is being played at Clemson, gentlemen. Greg, it's on you. Who you got?
Oh man. At Clemson too. Vincent, your boys really showed me something last week. But man, going to Death Valley to get a win, man, Spencer Rattler probably have to throw 7 or 8 touchdowns. Like Real said, like you said about USC getting so high 1 week for one team and to bring it back that same week. South Carolina, that was their championship last week against Tennessee. I don't know what Tennessee did to them, but they saved their best for the Vols. I don't think they can match that same intensity, match the same offensive firepower they had last week, not in Clemson. So I'm going to give Dabo Swinney the nod this week to beat his home state rivals. And South Carolina, just make it a game. We'll be happy. But I think Clemson will take this one.
Coach, who you rolling with?
South Carolina. I don't want Clemson to win another game this year. South Carolina got the home field. They got the momentum. And this is a grudge match, so I'll go with South Carolina. That's my upset special.
Now, just to correct you, to give you a chance, Clemson is the home team.
Oh, I'm sorry. It won't matter. South Carolina is my upset pick. I'm going to stay with them. South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
I like it when coach make upset picks.
I was gonna go with South Carolina, but man, South
Coach
Carolina coming off a high. I think I want to use Red's logic. They had their Super Bowl last week. I'm gonna stay in the pocket. I'm gonna go with Clemson right here. I think South Carolina's on to something. They got their big victory for the year, and Clemson will take this. All right, coaches, on the next one. Oregon versus Oregon State. Who you got?
The border. This one not as easy as they say. Oregon State has come up, managed to get in the top 25, but I think Oregon wants a date with USC, so they'll probably wear their silver uniforms and blind Oregon State. They got about 20 uniforms, so I'm going with Oregon.
I'm rolling with you on this one, man. I'm going with Oregon as well. Oregon State, they haven't really played anybody recently. Arizona State, California, they lost to Washington, who's a top 25 team. They beat Colorado and Washington State. Not impressed. Give me Oregon, who is competing for something and still can be in a decent bowl. I'm going to go Oregon. Red, who you got?
It's unanimous. I'm taking Oregon. I need Oregon to win as much as possible to make that UGA win look even greater. Oregon ain't really played nobody. I mean, all the ranked teams they lost to, all the ranked teams, Oregon is beat mostly except for the Washington game. So Oregon is used to playing more top teams than Oregon State. I'm going to take Oregon.
All right, on to the last game that we're picking this year. Or for this week, rather, I'm sorry. Notre Dame, number 15, versus number 6, USC. Woo! I'm so tempted to pick the upset special because I could just see it. USC is known for a letdown game, and sure enough, this is the season for the letdown. But I'm going to give Caleb Williams, who probably is the Heisman Trophy winner for this year, the benefit of the doubt. He will not allow this team to lose with a chance to go into the college playoff if they win the Pac-12 championship. So off the strength of Caleb Williams, I'm going to roll with USC to beat Notre Dame, even though USC is on that side. Who you got, Red?
USC, best win Notre Dame had this year was against Clemson, and we know how overrated Clemson is. USC is on a different level than Clemson. Their offensive juggernaut. I'm gonna see if Marcus is ready for this smoke right here, because USC and Caleb Williams definitely finna bring it, and they bringing it in their house. If it was in South Bend, me and Ray probably have to really think about this game right here. But since it's in USC and USC got the momentum, they got more to play for than anything. It's in their backyard. They better win. Or, Coach, you're going to have some explaining to do next week.
All righty. Coach, tell us why the Trojans are going to win.
Because the Trojans are going to win because finally, in several weeks, they have all their receivers healthy. All those receivers are healthy. And when all of them are running around that field, it's hard to stop that kind of offense with the complementary receivers running around. That's why I'm going with USC. Now let me stop, Red. Joe Black, why you hate USC so much, dog? Please tell us why you hate USC so much. I really want to know, because you put Notre Dame way back at the beginning. And we hadn't even talked about the game. Why you hate USC so much?
Well, we'll see if Joe Black will respond. All right, well, those are our pick'ems, and we'll see where we land next week, because we're starting to get toward the tail end of college football.
Wait a minute, did we do Ohio State and Michigan?
No, we didn't.
That game wasn't on there?
Coach dropped the ball. What are you doing, Coach?
Wait a minute. I know that game had to be on there.
You didn't even put Auburn, Alabama, even though Auburn may not qualify.
No, that game wasn't listed.
Okay. Well, Ohio State and Michigan. Think we forgot that one.
Coach, I can't believe you, man. I'm going to have to fire you from hosting. All right, there we go. Now I just typed it in. So let's go, man. Coach, I'm disappointed in you.
Wait a minute.
All right, it's on there now. All right, it's on you, Red. Who you got?
Ohio State. I thought they were the better team all year. I was just waiting for this game so we can get the overrated khaki pants Michigan out the way. They almost got themselves out the way last week the way they played against Illinois, but they didn't. They survived. Won't survive this week, especially if you play like you did against Illinois. Bottom line, Ohio State in the horseshoe all day.
Coach, who you got?
Ohio. The health of the Michigan running back Cowan is going to be key. He said he's going to play. But he might be slowed up by injuries. And if he can't run, Michigan State can't win. So Michigan can't win. So I'm going with Ohio State.
Red, you got to start. I'm going to make it unanimous. I'm going with Ohio State. If this game were being played in Ann Arbor, I would probably go with Michigan. But Ohio State's offense has too much firepower for Michigan to keep up with. So I'm going to go with Ohio State. All right, now, Joe Black answered your question, Coach, that you posed. He said this, and I quote, "I don't like Lincoln Riley. He chose."
That don't mean USC gonna choke. He may. That's Oklahoma. We gonna take care of all that. So you'll be wrong. Then next week you're gonna try to find a way to go against it when we beat up on Oregon. We're gonna beat Notre Dame by 20. Watch out.
Okay. That's that big talk. Coach, you got a score for us?
No.
Come on, man.
I
gave you a score for Georgia, Tennessee. Come on, what you got?
USC 35, Notre Dame 24.
Okay.
That's my score, 35-24.
All right, we'll see.
I was gonna say 40-28 USC.
All right, well, we'll see. Armani said by 20, Coach. Now he brought it back down.
You get your voice back, Silence of the Lambs. Get your voice back.
All right,
buddy, you better be worried about the Iron Bowl today while you worried about Coach's team. Because if y'all lose the Iron Bowl, woo, boy, if you thought I was on the turds, now, lose to Auburn today. Yeah, you're going to have turds all over my page crying, Coach.
All right, bro. Well, before we go to halftime, because Red is about to leave in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. Time be flying, man, when we doing good.
We're going to go ahead on real quickly and do
any big topics we need to discuss?
Well, we're going to do our reports real quickly because we got our 5 for 5, and you don't have enough time to do 5 for 5. So we're going to go ahead on and do your Falcons report. Coach, come back, do the Steelers report. All right? So get ready, Red. You're on the docket for the Falcons.
Let me get my dance ready.
Got your dance ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
That red, white, that black. That red, white, that black. That red, white, that black. My TV win the check, no stats. That red, white, that black. With the Falcons on the map. That A1, that gameplay, so it ain't no looking back.
You the only one that they talk about.
All right, y'all. The Falcons report this week. Well, I mean, what a win last week. Could have went either way. Special teams player of the week, Cordell Patterson. Another historic kick return in Falcons lore. We had Devin Hester a few years ago. Now we got Cordell Patterson. 5 and 6. Falcons just hanging on. Another reason not to play the kid this year, because every game Marcus wins, that's another game kid got to sit down. I know Falcon fans, I know we want to eventually see what we got in Ritter, but we got to play this thing out as long as we in playoff contention. I understand why they keep throwing Marcus out there. I just don't agree. And as long as our passing game is completely non-existent, I just don't think we got a chance to win against any good teams, any teams with a decent quarterback. Now we're going up against Taylor Heineken this week. I don't think he's that decent. He's beatable. This is the type of game we should win. But Taylor's from Atlanta. He's licking the chops to beat the Falcons again as he beat them last year. So but we was at home. We choked that game away. Now we're going up to his house. It's a winnable game for my Falcons. But like I say, this one-dimensional offense, man, it is eventually going to be our Achilles heel. Our defense, inconsistent, up and down. You never know what you're going to get from them. Don't really even matter. I don't even worry about defense. It's all about what our offense can do. If our offense is having a good day, if our running game is on point and consistent, if we're doing anything in the passing game, we got a chance. If not, we don't have a chance. Now, we lost Pitts last week because Marcus trying to throw stupid balls over the middle. Don't got that man injured, and he out. Probably out for the season. The next 4 games might well be out for the season because the next 4 games, he probably going to come back. We'll probably be already out of it. Who knows what's going to happen? But anyway, Pitts, get healthy. Falcons, find a quarterback. Go Falcons, rise up.
You want to hear one more time? One more time. Here you go.
That red, white, and that black. That red, white, and that black. That red, white, and that black. My team be winning shit, no stats. That red, white, and that black. With the Falcons on the map. That A1, that gameplay, so it ain't no looking back.
It music really be effective when we actually have a winning season.
All right, Coach, you on deck, man.
Your song is the only
black and yellow. So you up on deck, Coach. Here you go. Let's
right.
do the Steelers report real quickly.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Oh, okay. All right. Steelers report is gonna be simple because they just getting everybody healthy back on defense. DeMarcus Leal is coming back. The rookie, he was important. He's coming back, and they signed the man with the best name in football on to the running back called Master T, who has the best name in football. He got re-signed because of the injury to Jalen Warren. They're gonna really miss Warren, but what cures a losing season like the Indianapolis Colts? We're gonna bring the Colts in. We're gonna go to the Colts who flip-flopping. We're gonna try to take them out. Like I said, got to get all the defenses getting healthy. So offensive Kenny Pickett, he needs to know the difference between black and yellow colors or whatever colors, so he can throw to the right man. But it's gonna be okay. Steelers report.
All righty, black and yellow, black and yellow. Armani had these comments for you. He said, "Dang, Coach, I thought we were boys." And then he said, "Old folks say drink lemon and tea if it ain't working, Coach."
Armani, drink salt water, dog. Salt water, and don't talk. Drink salt water. That'll be good for you.
All right.
Now, real, I think Coach meant what's the best medicine for a Steelers team is playing Matt Ryan, not the Indianapolis Colts. I think you meant Matt Ryan.
For sure. Brother Morris said they gave Cincinnati all they could handle and came up short again. First losing season under Tomlin.
Yeah, how long Tomlin been there?
You see him talk about that a lot. Are you praying for that to happen?
Oh, for real? What he talking about that last week, Coach?
Yeah, he's talking about it. He's praying for that to happen. Golly. What did Mike Tomlin do to you?
For real, dude. You should want Mike to finish with at least 9-8 or close to even record. Why you want him to have a losing season?
All right, Coach. Joe Black gave you an incentive for your team to make the college playoff. He said, "I would love for y'all to make the playoff. If it's Georgia versus USC, I'll drive to Atlanta and take you out."
Wow.
If it's Georgia, Joe Black, if it's Georgia USC, I'll pay for your ticket.
Man, stop talking, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Don't go crazy now. Don't let Joe make you say for crazy.
They got a new you know who I talked to, didn't you? Y'all forgot. In we go is back.
Oh my God, is it?
Is it?
No,
He's
it
back
ain't
for real?
back. I
Oh,
wish it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
was.
for real. I
That
need
was
to get to
our
them.
friend.
But
Yeah,
let me know, Coach, if you hear about it, come back, starting back up anytime soon.
he said, I don't want them to lose. It's unfortunate that they're struggling this season. And, I'm going to just say this on the side note. Tomlin brought this losing season on his own, because he should have started Kenny Pickett from the very beginning. Let him get beat down those first 2 or 3 games, and now the game would seem a bit simpler. Mitch Trubisky had no reason starting for anybody's team, period.
Tell me about it, Rev.
It's
I'm
the
going through the
second
same
time.
thing in Atlanta.
You gonna leave Mr. Biscuit alone, Rev. I done told you this the second time you done said something about Mitch. But guess what? I was just thinking, why is Mason Rudolph still a Steeler? I'm trying to figure that out. Why haven't they traded him for something that can be an asset? I mean, you're not going to
Traded?
use him. Yeah, they put him on
For
injury
who?
reserve every week. I'm like,
I'm
they're
saying,
not
but
going to use
who
him.
gonna give up something valuable for Mason Rudolph?
I mean, you get something, a backup quarterback, some depth, something for him.
Coach, you ain't getting no kind of depth.
Whoa. Did you see what Armani said? What? Armani, are you serious? Come on, Armani.
Nah. Armani, that will be if Georgia played Auburn. Now USC is actually a good team.
Okay, Real, go back on that. Go back on that, Real. Put that back on the screen. Mine as well, Armani. See, you so busy trying to type real fast. Mine as well.
Come on, Dante. Armani, if you go talk trash, man, come on.
The voice of the voices. Don't let me get started on you, Armani.
All right, Red, you got the voice of the voices. All right, Red, give us any closing comments that you might have, because you got to get out of here, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do about these Hawks and Uncle Nate and that game we lost to the Rockets last night. That was so disappointing. I like how the Lakers are playing. Anthony Davis, his performance, like I told y'all earlier, the last few games bounced back. I just hope LeBron don't ruin it. But like I said, I like what'd you say, Coach?
Lebanon.
I like the chemistry with Russ and AD and the young guys. I think if they keep playing together, we might turn into something. But like I said, Lakers got a long ways to go. We just keep gelling. I already made my college picks as far as the pros this week. Whew. Well, like I say, it's an interesting week. I'm listening to see what you and Coach talk about. And I'll probably just get my thoughts on Facebook later. But the Falcons are still in after 11 weeks. Who would have thought? Real, your KC boys, they looking good, man. I think this might be the year Pat get his second ring. I mean, he knew he was gonna get another ring eventually. Might get a second MVP too. I mean, he's playing that good. I think it might be his MVP to lose, and I think the Chiefs might be the team to beat. I'm just calling it like I see it right now. Coming out the NFC, I can't even think the Eagles. Sorry, Dana. I miss Dana. I don't think the Eagles gonna be able to handle the KC. I don't think. Like I say, I want to kind of see Dallas and KC. I want to see a top defense against a top offense. Cowboys and Chiefs might be the most popular Super Bowl. They might have everybody talking that week. So I think Dallas and KC might be the Super Bowl we heading for, especially if Dallas get OBJ. So we're going to talk on it, fellas. We're going to talk on it more. But thanks for having me for this 1 hour. Let me go make this money like Rev said. And I'll be listening. Maybe I can make a comment in Rev Night Nation, and we'll pick it up next week, fellas.
All right. It is officially halftime of the Red and Rev Sports Show.
See y'all later, Rev Night Nation. Ready to go make this money.
Go make your money, brother. We'll be right back. We talked a little college football, some pro football. We got pro football fits.
All right, Coach.
Coming. We'll holler at you. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna check out Nope on Peacock, Coach. I gotta see what everybody's talking about. They been dogging that movie out. I gotta see what's so sorry about that movie. I'm trying to check it out tonight, Coach.
All right,
okay.
All right, y'all.
are back on the Red and Red Sports Show. Coming to you with the second half. It's just a two-man game. Coach and the good Reverend will bring you out of the rest of this show. Let's see. The VP is going to root for his Gamecocks. A lot of orange out here. VP out. At least the session rules from Maurice throw to slam down the gavel to end the show when necessary. Y'all have a great week. All right, VP, enjoy yourself at the game. We'll see the Gamecocks come with it. And Coach's favorite fan of the Red and Red Sports Show is coming in. Case. Coach was waiting on you. He said, I can't keep going on without Jerome Case. So, all right, Coach, let's jump into this 5 of 5. I guess I got to join you. I got 1 minute, just like you got 1 minute to discuss the main topics at hand. We're going to start with Jerry Jones' photo, and we're going to put the photo up before we start the time, Coach. Here is the photo that went viral this past week. Jerry Jones was part of a crew in Arkansas that was trying to prevent black students from going to school, and where the circle is, that's where you see Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. There's the backdrop, Coach. You got 5 on it. It's on you. Get ready. Get set. And get ready to get 5 on it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to take a different angle. Jerry Jones at the time, as I found out, was 14 years old at that time when that picture was taken. And I want to know if somebody can tell me, have you ever done anything at 14 that you may have regretted? And I want to know, what is he doing in that photo other than standing there? I don't see him being aggressive toward anybody. I don't see him doing anything. He's just standing there. So, that you trying to bring down punishment on Jerry Jones for a 65-year-old photo where he just standing there. And just imagine if you were standing in a crowd that was being antagonistic towards someone and you didn't do anything. Let's say that they stormed, those people getting ready to storm a store, and you just stood there and didn't go in there. Are you guilty of storming the store? Are you guilty of starting anything? I don't see what the big deal is about him standing there. He's 14 years old. If he was older, like 30 or so, and knew kind of what he was doing, I could give him something on that. But I can't put nothing on this photo to say, Jared, that would make me. Looking at the photo, you can't tell if he's a racist or not. Just because he's in a crowd.
All right, Coach's time is up. I'm going to take a slightly different angle. Yes, Jerry Jones 14. Do I believe at 14 he believed in the principles that those other white students believe in? Of course I do. Do I think he didn't have the same mindset? Of course I don't. I know that he was probably of that mindset. Now, fast forward several decades later, should he be held accountable for that picture? Absolutely not. For all of us have an opportunity to be transformed and changed from flawed beliefs from years ago. If that's the case, if we hold the standard to hold people accountable for all the stuff that they did in their past, all of us would be in trouble. Nevertheless, unless something resurfaced with Jerry Jones making some racist remarks, then that photo would mean a little bit more in terms of him having to step down. But, it is what it is. Jerry Jones is of that mindset. And let's be honest, probably the majority of the owners who are in his age bracket had the same mindset like that back in the day. So that's raw thoughts on it as well. Before we ask any additional coach comments, Jerome Kennedy said, but as a 14-year-old kid in school, with Jerry Jones participating or just looking, I'm with Coach Mark. But Mark said, just terrible. Hopefully he's changed, but based his stance on taking a knee, maybe not. Why would he be there in the first place? Jerome Case also says, much respect to Coach for not assuming and letting the facts of an image be as they are. The matter is unclear. Unclear. All right, Coach, if you want to chime in some more, what you got?
I mean, not that, but the fact of, you know, if you going like you had a sermon look like you coming out of there, you telling about it being transformed and everything. But I mean, what were you doing at 14? If you robbed a store of getting a candy bar at age 14, and now you 50 some years old, would they hold that against you? Probably not. You know, he may have been dragged down there by his daddy. Who knows? His daddy may have told him, "Let's go." At a young age, you don't know you don't know all that. So why are they making a big deal out of it? Like you said, though, you made a good point. If he makes a racist statement or shows a racist attitude in some way, then you got him.
I think Bro Martin's comment is why some folk are making a big deal about it in terms of his stance about taking a knee, because he did come off a little bit insensitive to the black plight, and he was insistent upon the black players and all players standing up for the Star Spangled Banner. So I think that right there could give some fuel to those who believe that he's still carrying out his racist ways, because it comes out in subtle ways in different issues. So that may be something why the people are making a big deal about the picture, even though it was taken decades ago.
Who found the picture? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question. All right, Coach, let's move on to the next topic, the NFL hot seat. Who's on the hot seat? And I guess we're talking about the NFL coaches who are on the hot seat. I guess it's on me. I'll go first. Well, it's an interesting season, and well, we already see that the one team that was on the one coach that was on the hot seat, Frank Wright, he's already gone. So that would have been definitely my pick from the very beginning. There are a lot of coaches that are new. But one new coach that's definitely on the hot seat is the brother from the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I think because the Denver Broncos are so invested in Russell Wilson, and not cut him, then they have to see how he can gel with the new coach. So I think the Denver Broncos coach Hackett is definitely on the hot seat, and I can definitely see the Denver Broncos going in a different direction. And it would only be right that he gets the same treatment as several black coaches have received, where they have only been given 1 year to be a head coach. And Denver did that. I think they gave Vance Joseph either 1 or 2 years. So they need to be consistent and do the same thing with Hackett, because he does not measure up. And somebody else on the hot seat is Josh McDaniels. It may just be proven that he's more of a coordinator rather than a head coach, because he failed in Denver and he's failing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Coach, your thoughts?
Seems like the same too. I'm looking at the McDaniels and Hackett, because both of them are not living up to what the people thought they would be. Everybody assumed that they would be come in and be able to have a winning record and do what they need to do. But both of them are not. They're not going to make the playoffs, and they have successfully destroyed the AFC West, where everybody thought the AFC West was going to be the super group. But now only the Los Angeles Chargers and Kansas City Chiefs have stepped above them and left them in the dust. So, yeah, those two are on the hot seat, definitely.
All right, let's see what Another Night Nation got to say about this one. Boy Martin said, I agree with you. Rev, the Broncos coach on the hot seat. Jerome takes the head coaches of the Raiders, the Colts, the Chargers. Ooh. The Texans love you on the hot seat without any talent. Man, we'll see. And then what Martin said, he forgot about Brother McDaniel. We'll see. We know that Monday after the regular season, they call it Black Monday, there may be some fireworks
Yeah.
happening in the NFL. Let's go on to the next one. The biggest college football rival.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right, Coach. We're going to go with you, brother. What you got, man?
Man. I mean, I'm gonna have to do a Kendrick Perkins when he always talk about you gotta look at the numbers. When you look at the numbers, I mean, basically look at Michigan and Ohio State today. They're gonna pack at least 110,000 in the horseshoe. And that's every year. No matter whether they play in Michigan or Ohio State, they're gonna pack in over 100,000. So that's a consistent rival. That seems to be like the best one to me. Even though Ohio State has dominated it, but Michigan seems to be saying they're on the come up and they're gonna get them. So I had to go Michigan, Ohio State.
Oh, man, this is a tough one because I think the biggest rivalry has some ebbs and flows to it. I think the rivalry becomes big when both teams are relevant. And right now, I would definitely say, as coach, Michigan and Ohio State is the biggest rivalry because both teams have been relevant. The game the past 2 years has meant the difference between a team going to the playoffs versus a team being knocked out of the college football playoff hunt. But right now, I would have to agree Ohio State as well as Michigan being the biggest rivalry. But I would not say that we have to, I would say we would be remiss if we dismiss Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah.
Because once those two teams are both relevant, I don't think it gets any bigger than that because that rivalry is truly an in-state rivalry, and that rivalry is entrenched into the whole state of Alabama. They teach their kids to either root for Auburn or Alabama from a very, very young age. So because that rivalry is literally statewide and it shuts an entire state down, it could be argued that the Iron Bowl with Alabama and Auburn is the biggest college football rivalry. All right, let's go on see what some folks got to say. Bro, Mark, there's the Iron Bowl. Alabama and Auburn. That's definitely debatable. Well, FSU beat Florida last night. Nothing else matters. Go no. Glad your team finally is relevant these days. College football is better when FSU is doing all right. All right, before we go on to the next topic, Dante said Josh McDaniels should never be a head coach again. Why teams still like him, the world may never know. He said Auburn, Alabama for him. Trust me, families don't enjoy Thanksgiving dinner properly because of it. I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
Definitely see it. So
Yeah.
Iron Bowl is definitely up there. All right, let's move on to the next topic. World Cup. Is it a big deal? All right, it's on me. What do you have to say about this, Harris? I'm glad that you're. To me, it's really not a big deal. Personally, I'm a huge sports fan, but I'm not a huge soccer fan. But because of the appeal of soccer being an international brand rather than just a national brand, the World Cup is definitely a big deal because you have players literally playing from all over the world. And I believe that the World Cup is increasingly becoming more popular and relevant in America because there is more of an appetite for soccer, especially amongst our younger generation. So therefore, the World Cup in general, on a world scale, it's relevant. And even it's starting to become more relevant in America And we are seeing that because the team is made up of a bunch of younger players. And therefore, we see that soccer is beginning to have a younger appeal amongst young Americans. And therefore, these younger Americans are actually playing solid soccer, having tied their first two games after the last national team didn't even make the World Cup. So it is a big deal. What say you, Coach?
Well, looking at it from it's not a big on my radar, but I was looking at the thing that was saying what you just said. The USA didn't even make the final or go far. They're in danger today. If they lose, if they don't win today, I think it's today or tomorrow, then they're out. They're done in the World Cup because of what they've done. They tied two games, which is not doing anything. So it may need it's becoming a popular sport. We see a lot of kids around playing soccer nowadays. So I think it's a big deal here. But nationwide, they showed a clip where the Super Bowl got 100 and something million fans, but World Cup got over 1 billion fans. So I don't know. You use that what you want. Depends on who you poll for that one. So I think it may be a big deal. It's somewhat.
All right, the fans got something to say from River Night Nation. Jerome K. Soccer versus football. J.D. Wood said, I totally agree about the World Cup. But Jim Martin said, I'm not a fan, but Atlanta United is drawing on me. I definitely appreciate them winning a championship in our city. America's not been relevant in the World Cup. Not a big deal for me. Maurice Fleur says, of course, the World Cup is a big deal. I like soccer and I like the passion of the sport. It's not called the world's most popular sport for nothing. Well, J.D. Wood says USA plays on Tuesday, coach. Get your days straight. 2 words, soccer moms. All right. There is a such thing. All right, on to the last topic, coach. Are you swag? All right. If you believe that Dion is swag at Jackson State, here's the large question. Is Dion leaving Jackson State? What says you, coach?
I think the Jackson State fans better start realizing that he may be gone. That South Florida appeal is starting to become bigger and bigger. And word has it that he may have already signed with South Florida and will be going there after the season is over when he gets through with his stuff at Jackson State. Jackson State fans on social media are not too happy. They are a little warm because they've grown to Dion doing this and Dion doing that. So he probably will hurt a lot of people leaving. But hey, once again, I asked the question: if you're working at a job making $500,000 and you like that job, but somebody offered you the same job somewhere else at $5 million, who among you wouldn't take it?
I think eventually Dion will leave. I'm not sure if Colorado or South Florida are the right type of spots for him. I know he's from Florida, so South Florida sounds like a good fit. But I think if Dion leaves, he wants to leave for that job. That's a splash job. I think he wants a job that he knows he can immediately compete. I think he understood taking Jackson State that because of who he is, that was a great recruiting tool, and therefore he could win pretty quickly. Dion does not impress me as the type of guy who wants to wait 2 to 3 seasons to build a roster before his team becomes competitive, because I think losing would weigh on him a great deal. So I think he will ultimately leave for a good Power 5 job if someone is willing to offer it. And that's another story, because some of those white boosters at those major institutions may not be up for Dion's prime time stop. With that being said, I think Dion should carefully consider staying in black college football, because he has more power in black college football, in my opinion, than he would be able to have at a Power 5 school. He literally runs black college football, helps dictate what goes on in black college football, but he won't have that same power on a Power 5 school, and he won't have that same impact on Power 5, the entire Power 5 establishment. What he may do is be able to win a few championships, but he won't have the impact on Power 5 schools like he does in the whole entire HBCU. All right, let's see what the Red Knight Nation got to say on this. Rob Martin said, must be the money, playing on his song. I'd like to see other big name guys approach HBCUs to generate financial stability for those programs. In own case, Coach Prime gave HBCUs a great blueprint on how to elevate their college programs. If he leaves, then he leaves behind a good plan for others to follow. I hear you, Brother Case, and I think, yes, Deion has, but we got to recognize influence matters. Influence in the game of college football comes with money. Deion's brand helps generate money. I don't think too many other HBCU coaches can generate the kind of money that allows the level of influence to take place. And therefore, yes, he's left a blueprint, but he hadn't left his name, his brand, his charisma. And not too many people can do what Deion has done. Just in the few years that he's been in college football, almost every black college football game is being televised or streamed on a major network. That was not the case before Deion came to town. Plus, not many black college coaches are going to be on a commercial with Nick Saban, with Aflac. Not too many black coaches are going to be able to bring Snoop Dogg and all the hip hop rappers and entertainers to practice, which helps generate storylines. So this is why I got to kind of disagree with you in that he's left the blueprint. Unfortunately, the blueprint does not come with his persona. Coach, what's your thought?
Got to have money in this land of milk and honey. So you got to have money to be able to do all these things. If your program doesn't generate that much money to be able to be out there like that, then nice thoughts, but it won't work. Now, I've not seen anybody, to be honest, talk about his coaching more than they talk about his social relevance and his recruiting and things like that. I haven't heard anybody say he's a great coach. They say he's a great motivator. He's a great spokesman for the program. But I don't know. Maybe they have, but I don't know if anybody really talked about him on the field, what he does. He surrounded himself with some great coaches, which a smart head coach would do. Surround yourself with some good coaches. So will one of them, if he does take a job, I'm going to assume that one of them, or would they stay back and coach the Jackson State program when he leaves? Because like we talked about, I do not want to be the person that follows Deion if I was a coach. I want to be the person that that follows the person that follows the one that came behind Deion. I don't want to be the next coach after him, because you'll have a lot of scrutiny on your plate.
Yeah, that's well said, and I definitely would not want to follow Deion as well. And I think you raised a good question. I think the jury is still out there on how well of a coach Deion is. I think he's benefited at Jackson State by having the most talent. Last year he got smacked up in the face by South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. So we know he's a great recruiter because we've seen the talent that he's been able to bring to Jackson State, being able to get a kid who should be at a Power 5 school to come to the SWAC. But he would probably have to go to a Power 5 school to help us see if he can really coach or not. Because I think as long as he's at Jackson State will always have more talent than any other school. And we've seen coaches that have won because they've just been more talented than other teams. So the jury is out on his coaching, but we know he's definitely a great recruit. All right, that ends 5 for 5. Thank you, Coach, for indulging me as your sidekick. I'm usually just throwing it to the next person. I hope I didn't let this segment down.
No,
With
sir.
that being said, let's go to our NFL picks. Here we are.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's look at these standings quickly.
Coming to get you, Red.
So,
whoa, 8-0. Uh-oh.
The Reverend was on fire. And that fire kept on going. On Thanksgiving Day, I went 3-0. So I'm on
golly.
11-game winning streak, brother. 11 games. See, now that COVID is out the atmosphere, my mind is straight.
Oh, Lord. That word again. I don't know why that word keeps popping up.
So Red went 6-2. He still has a 2-game lead over me. He has a 3-game lead over Coach. And he has a 22-game lead over I think that's the biggest deficit in the NFL sports show history. So Armani, we will definitely for you to feed us sooner than later. And you don't need a voice to pay for our meal. Just want to give you the heads up.
Remember, he's gonna be in town. He's gonna be in town next week because next weekend because the Steelers play the Falcons.
Well, y'all go ahead on and get your meal. I'm closer to him in Pennsylvania. He's in Virginia, so I could always get my meal some way, somehow. But no COVID champ this year.
See, here we go. Here we go. They bring that word up. It's okay. It's not over yet. We got plenty of weeks left. Plenty.
All right, man. Let's get into these picks. Let me give you some pickle music, and we'll post all of the picks, inclusive of Armani and Reds, by game time on tomorrow. Let's see what we got, Coach. Well, since I'm ahead of you in the standings, I guess I'll go first. Let's get to the first game. Jebonite Nation, feel free to post your picks with us as we pick. Let's go see what we got. First game on the docket. Raiders versus Seahawks in Seattle. Woo! It's a tough game. Both teams are not doing the best. I'm going to go with the Raiders. They need a W. I think Brother Adam and Brother Carl are going to hook up enough to win the close contest in Seattle. So give me the Raiders. Who you got, Coach?
I think I'm going to go with Seattle. I think, the Raiders are still, they won, but they still a grease fire to me. I just look at them. I'm going to go with Seattle.
All right. We got Seahawks around the horn except for Red's horn. Let's move on to the next one. Buccaneers versus the Browns in Cleveland. Who you got, Coach?
Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Any AFC North team I need to lose.
So it's clearly a divisional thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bucks as well. I think the Bucks have fine-tuned their running game with this young kid, White. Jacoby is still at the helm. I know they'll be waiting for Deshaun Watson soon. So I think Tom Brady goes into Cleveland, does enough, gets a W against the Browns. Mm-hmm. All right. On to the next game. Bengals versus Titans. My. Oh, man. My man Joe Burrow is a ball player. I think he'll outdo Ryan Tannehill, even though this game is against Nashville. They did it in the playoffs last year, and I think they'll do it again in the regular season Give me the Bengals, all because of the quarterback play. Who you got, Coach?
Unfortunately, I had to go with the Bengals too because Joe Burrow get his main weapon back, Jamar Chase, and they ready to roll. And the Titans, Derrick Henry. I don't know if they can stop him, but he's the only weapon they got. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals as well.
Just to help my man Jerome Chase, let's understand we're not talking about the deer buck. We're talking about the pirate buck. So watch your stuff, all right? BUCA, not BUCA. All right, there we go. Titan over City Cat. Here we go. On to the next game. The Chargers versus the Cardinals in Arizona. Just to let you know, Lil Kyler Murray is back, though.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got?
Still taking the Chargers because he has the Chargers got their wide receivers back. So I go with the Chargers. Herbert is a little. I don't know how that hamstring gonna hold up for Murray coming back. I go to Chargers.
Man, I want to go to Cardinals so badly because I need Kyler Murray to have a big W since he cost me big time last week against you in fantasy football, and I had to rely on Russell Wilson, which was a tragedy, to say the least. Man, that Herbert guy, for some reason, I just don't. Sometimes I just think he's overrated. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with the Cardinals, man.
Oh, they're at home. Okay.
Back. DeAndre Hopkins is back. The Cardinals may make a little noise. So let's roll with the Cardinals. On to the next game, man. Somebody had Jerome Chase said Chargers. Packers versus Eagles. For me, I'm gonna go with just my home state team. Eagles at home. The defense will do enough to slow down Aaron Rodgers, and Jalen Hurts will do enough for the offense to be serviceable so that they could beat the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Who you got, Coach?
I'm like you. I want to go with the Packers so bad, but then you got Aaron Rodgers who don't know who to throw to, and he has a broken thumb. So I had to go with the Eagles.
All right, on to the next game. It's on you, Coach. Tell us why the Steelers are going to beat the Colts.
Matt Ryan is the quarterback. He's immobile back there. We're going to send everything at him, get him off his game, and try to slow down Jonathan Taylor, who's getting better week by week, but we're not ready this week.
I'm going to ride with you, Coach, with your boys, black and yellow. Give me the Steelers as well. I think Brother Kitty Pickett would do enough to win over the Colts, and I think the defense might have the Colts and Jeff Saturday thinking about retiring Matt Ryan again. And that would be music to my football ears. So I'm going with the Steelers as well. On to the last game, Falcons versus Commanders. We heard Red's report. Obviously, we see that he has some disdain over the Falcons keeping Mariota in the QB saddle. And I think that's going to cost them against the Commanders in DC. The Commanders are playing solid football. I don't think a running attack will be the answer to beat the Commanders because they have a solid defensive line, and therefore Mariota is going to be forced to throw the ball. They just lost one of their prime targets for the season, Kyle Pitts. So I think this spells hell all over for the Falcons. So I'm going with the Commanders. Who you got, Coach?
I'm going to go with the Command. Well, no. The Commanders are getting Chase Young back, but something about them, I just think they're missing still on defense. And even though Pitts is hurt, I think Drake London is going to have a big game this week. I'm going to go with the Falcons.
All right, so Coach goes with my team and I don't go with it. All right, that's cool. I know Commanders. And yeah, there it is. I understand the kill them off. And then the Falcons about to leave their own place there. All right, we'll see. There'll probably be some movement. We'll figure out Red and Armani picks. They'll be posted before the game start on tomorrow. All right, Coach. Well, we're about at the end of our show, and because we got a 2-man panel, that's how we were able to get through this quick, fast, and in a hurry. But we never show without you have the right. So who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
Basically, USC. Basically, you had a right to win. You got to show everybody. There's still some doubters out there that think you're going to fold in one of these next 2 games. So you had a right to show them that you are a true national championship contender, and you're going to get in the playoffs. Anything less, well, there's always next year.
Man, I don't really have a solid one, but I'll go with the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis, you have the right to be the player that you have shown yourself against those teams that you've beat up on lately that I call chump killers. You've been beating up on the chump killers pretty well, averaging 30 points, being in double digits for boards. Now it is your turn to be the alpha male, alpha player on the Lakers. LeBron can no longer do it. He's 20 years into the league. He needs to really be the Robin. And in best case scenario, he should really be the third option. Nevertheless, Anthony Davis, you have the right to be Batman in LA so that the Lakers can at least be relevant. All right. Let's see. Brother Jerome says Magic City, do your thing on the Commanders on Saturday night. Unfortunately, I don't think Magic City is in Washington, D.C.
I guess he was saying Magic City and talking about Atlanta, I guess. Do your thing.
Is the game in Atlanta or in D.C.?
D.C.
Yeah.
He just saying he just called Atlanta Magic City.
Now, I think he thought the game was in Magic City, Coach.
Oh, okay.
The Commanders would be hanging out at Magic City.
Oh.
You have the right to trade Collins and get a defensive specialist and score for him at the power forward position. Yeah. Only thing is, who's going to take his contract? That's
that's the thing.
And what can you get in return? The game is in Washington. My bad, Rev. I thought, I understood.
Okay.
And if that were the case, you definitely would have made a relevant comment. Magic City, do your thing. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for watching episode 258 of the Red and Red Sports Show. Hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves. Hopefully you all will join us next week for the Red and Red Sports Show. Maybe a portion. Well, I don't have the big meeting next week. So I'll probably be back here. The Red and Red Sports Show. All right. With that being said, big up to you, Coach. Coach Red and Super doing his GPS from the Mountain Detail that we have to back on that. Peace and love, Red Night Nation. Have a good time. This week, enjoy your sport. Be safe, because this holiday is not all the way over. And for the coach, hopefully I'm on episode 259 of the Red and Red. So, we're out of here. Peace and love, everybody.
Yeah.